portfolios with the most amazing sketches. These children and young needed their opportunity to fulfill their dreams. We invited more international speakers like Philippe Cousteau, Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, and many more. As the citizens asked and asked for more, Tijuana Innovadora emerged as a movement. Working year-round and not only as an event every 2 years, Tijuana Innovadora woke up and gave a voice to those projects that needed to raise a hand and get noticed. It served as a platform so that all could get together and help each other. This is a picture of Casa de las Ideas, the House of Ideas. It is one of my favorite movements. This house built in the middle of a canal is Camino Verde. This is in a very dangerous part of the city, one of the most dangerous parts. You see two different sides, each side fighting against the other one. So this house was built, it had an architectural award already. 80% of the parents were incarcerated. These children came home from school to be in the streets doing drugs or vandalism. All they knew was being sons and daughters of drug traffickers, and of course it seemed natural for them to aspire to the same business. They thought killing people, carrying a gun, and making easy money is a role model to follow. Casa de las Ideas held these kids captive in different workshops, gave computer classes to stay-at-home moms, but most important, these children with a troubled past were being fed knowledge, wisdom, education to make a change in their lives. One of the things that is very curious, you see 4 people standing in each corner of the house. I approached one of them and asked why they were there. They said, "Did somebody put you here as a job?" "No, I'm just here every day taking care of the house." So it's really amazing to see that there's no scratch in the whole white building, no graffiti. The whole community is now taking it like their own, taking care of it. So it was time to start the 3rd edition. It was difficult to raise expectations from the previous 2 editions. The first one, it was the first one being the first time, of course. The second was expected because of the commotion that the first one left. Now we had to cover another subject crucial to our mega region. The Mexican diaspora, being one of the biggest migrations in the world, all those Mexicans passing through our city to look for the American dream. Some having luck in crossing illegally, and others searching and staying in search for the next opportunity, risking their lives, leaving families and friends to make a better living. Immigrants wearing the only piece of clothing they were carrying, no money, no place to sleep or eat. Millions and millions of women, children, and men dying crossing the border in horrible conditions because our country was not giving them jobs so they could put food on the table. Those Mexicans born in the US as second generation are finishing their master's degree and becoming astronauts like Jose Hernandez in NASA, and thousands more that are representing our country and teaching us that it can be done. We will have obstacles and quite a few bumps on the road, but we'll know we have a bright shining light at the end of the tunnel. Now co-workers made possible a council in the San Diego region. Americans could speak for us and be ambassadors of what this mega binational region is expanding and achieving. Meetings in San Diego are held every 3 months. Both Mexican and Americans, leaders in their region, can bring together actions to make a stronger impact and really get things done. Well, this is a picture of how the border is. We have Tijuana on the right side and we have San Diego on the left side. We are just separated by a thin wall. It is very impressive when you are going down that street, which is Avenida Internacional. You can see both sides. So one of the things that we have to do is build bridges, not walls. It is very important. This is a fence that goes all the way to Playas Tijuana and Imperial Beach. As you can see, on the middle section, they painted the fence in blue so it can appear that it was the continuation of the sky, so we have no borders and nothing in between us that we could be together. So now, after all this experience I had with Tijuana y Nueva Hora, I can't even describe what it has given me as a learning experience, and I was able to experience this every day on different matters what my region has to offer. I have the tools to set new goals, contacts who can support me, and the courage and strength to venture on my own. It is time to give back what all of this has given me, and so this year, as of January, I teamed up with two incredible women, with our colleagues whom I would have loved to have stay with me, in opening a public relations agency focused on coordination of corporate events working on both sides of the border. We have recently started, and we have 5 events successfully coordinated and waiting responses for 2 more. Our brand is from 6 degrees of separation. This theory says that all of us in this world are connected through 6 points or less. So the 6 degrees of separation is a theory that says that all of us are connected in this world by 6 points, 6 contacts or less. So we wanted to do the equation for our brand, which is we are 3 co-founders. Dos is 2 for working on both sides of the border, which make up the 6 degrees of separation. We are 3 partners. Once again, my public relations agency is focused on corporate events. And we are working in both sides of the border we have the ideal combination of services. So I know it is tough out there for women, but the only thing I know is having passion, consistency, drive, and perseverance will always win. Well, this has only started, and I have a lot of enthusiasm in working at something I love. Very few of us can achieve that. Now, as an agency, I can proudly say that we are coordinating the 4th edition of Tijuana y Nueva Hora. It is a monster of an event, I know, but I have no doubt that it will work out great.
When is it?
It's going to be from the 3rd to the 10th of November of this year. So really soon. We have 6 months to coordinate what we normally have as a 1-year coordination of the event.
How many people are attending?
Well, in 2010, we had about 700,000, and then it increased 2012, and so on and so forth. So now it is going to be 7 days instead of 11 or 15 as a first edition. We are expecting lots of people and 3, oh, actually, one more second, please. The last one? Okay, so these are the themes that we are going to be covering. We have creative industry, we have fashion designers on the rise, Tijuana Green, and well, we're keeping going on the persistence of the movement. So this is going to happen on November, and it is going to be only 7 days, but it's a big event with lots of activities. We're going to have exhibitions, panels, conferences, and different alternate events for students. Thank you so much. Do you have any more questions?
So as somebody who is working on both sides of the border, what are your key learnings in adapting to different cultures?
That is one very interesting question. We get this question asked a lot. What happens is we speak a different language, not as in English or Spanish. We have people from the center of Mexico tries, as I was having in February an event, we had the activation of Volkswagen, one of the new Beetle, and they were bringing agencies from the center of Mexico to coordinate the event in Tijuana. We speak a whole other language. We have to know the full meaning of how we work in the frontier. It is very different. It is not easy at all. So one of the key things to mostly achieve and to know is we manage different things. I mean, we have Tijuana, we have Mexicans and Americans, we have San Diego, we have Mexicans and Americans as well. So this type of language is rare. I mean, just living there, you can only experience what is going on.
So how different are the needs of your Mexican customers versus the American versus Central Mexican?
Well, for starters, people who are in Tijuana, it's almost an obligation to learn English, obviously, because Well, as I was saying, I was in middle school in San Diego, and then I went back in high school to Tijuana, and then I went back to San Diego. So it is very different, the way of life. I mean, I have been living there for 29 years now. So it is a whole other experience to be living in this. It's going back and forth. It is very rare that when I speak to people in Mexico City, they say, "Are you going to San Diego? How many times do you cross?" Maybe 2 times at least. Or I go to the movies in San Diego, or get gasoline in San Diego, or I go to the movies in Tijuana. I go to the shopping mall in San Diego. So people really don't understand how you can go back and forth from 2 countries.
So
Literally 2 countries. I have a visa. I have my Mexican passport as a resident, and I have a visa.
I was a recruiter in San Francisco, actually San Jose, and a lot of Mexicans came across the border illegally, and they somehow heard that I had like a soft heart and I would give them jobs. Some also, a lot of them used to come to me, and I learned to communicate with them. My basic language is Indian, but I knew English, and then I wrote the questions that I needed to talk to them about my work. I wrote them in my language, like the pronunciation and the meaning, and then I would talk to them on the phone.
It was easier to communicate.
Yeah, I worked with a lot of Mexicans that way.
We now have a big issue here there in Tijuana, which we get all the immigrants traveling from Guatemala, from Chiapas, we get them all. So they're staying there because when they're being deported, none of them are going back to their cities.
Yeah.
So we have a huge amount of immigrants. We have shelters for them, but obviously it's not enough. I mean, they're building different organizations in the border so they can have shelter and food and give them workshops or just some money so they can work. But it is a very strong matter that is going on.
Yeah, it's that kind of times. There are a lot of refugees everywhere. Things are changing. They can't find jobs and work in their own place, and they have to move. And the new place doesn't want them.
Exactly.
So there are so many in all countries. See, Europe is happening.
Exactly. This is a matter that's going on in every country.
Yeah.
We have to take action in it. So people are only talking about statistics but not taking action. Okay, we knew in that when I was saying about the binational forces, we knew the statistic of the 6% of San Diegans or north of the border coming south of the border. Okay, we are saying 6%, but we had to take some action and bring in people or buses to the events from San Diego. Any more questions?
I just want to make, I'm so enjoying this. My father's from Nuevo Laredo.
Oh, wow.
And I lived in Villa Hidalgo, which is on the border of Texas.